I've been stuck on these 3 lines for a while in this text. Keeping the body humble and at peace, speaking neither unpleasantly nor deceptively, and keeping the mind absorbed in the spiritually beneficial. So what to do with our body, speech, and mind. And I think, it's only 3 lines at the beginning of this whole thing, in the 3rd verse, but I think kind of has the whole practice in it. Okay, so keeping the mind absorbed in the spiritually beneficial. So I was thinking that, some days we wake up and our mind just doesn't feel spiritually beneficial, does it? We wake up and it's like, oh, I'm so grumpy. I really don't want to get up. Or sometime during the day we feel like, I'm just so bored. I've been doing this so often. Ugh. Or sometimes during the day we feel really dissatisfied, like something's missing, something's empty in my life. I want something, but I don't know what it is. Okay. Or sometimes during the day we just feel downright angry or downright greedy or proud of ourselves in one way or another, or really getting down on ourselves. We have all these different moods that we go through in the course of each day. And they're not all spiritually beneficial. In fact, so many of them just make us downright miserable, and then make us speak and act in ways that make more misery for ourselves and more misery for the people around us. So what do we do when we have these kind of moods? And here I'm using the word mood in particular. In Buddhism, they don't have the word mood. I remember at one of the Mind and Life conferences we were discussing this. We don't have the word mood or the word like temperament, like people have certain temperaments. So there isn't those kinds of ideas so much. But we're pretty moody. Whether they have a word for it or not, we're pretty moody. And what is very interesting is when there's a certain mood in our mind, to be able to identify it, And this is a talent and a skill that we have to learn over time. We have a certain internal feeling or mood, and what is it? Can I figure out what label to give that? And I think that, being able to figure out what it is really important, because if we can't kind of figure out what it is, then we tend to not even know that we're very moody. Yeah? And when we don't know that we're very moody, then our moods drive the show. Whereas when we can stop and say, okay, yeah, what is this? Well, it's uneasiness. And then to say, well, why? What triggered this uneasiness? Or what story is going on in my mind that's associated with this uneasiness? Okay? And so to do some research, instead of just saying, well, I feel uneasy, so let's distract myself by turning on the football game. Yeah? To really stop and like, okay, well, why am I uneasy? Well, because somebody said this and such to me the other day, and I have a history with this person, so now I'm a little bit suspicious of why they said that. Finding what the trigger was, and then seeing, okay, there's also suspicion in my mind. It's not just uneasiness, there's suspicion. And is there a valid reason for this? Or is my suspicion going into anger, in which case I need to apply one of the antidotes to anger. Okay, are you getting what I'm saying? How all these kinds of things are tied in? And so really looking into what's going on in our mind, you know, and figuring it out. And if you do this, you will never be bored. Yeah. Buddhism is the best remedy to boredom if you're really willing to engage, you know, with yourself and look. Yeah. If we're not willing to engage, then you know, basically what we do is seek to distract ourselves and medicate ourselves. Yeah. But if we're willing to engage, then even when there's a bad mood in our mind, it becomes something interesting. Yeah. So our bad mood no longer is like, ugh, I don't like feeling this way. Let's go smoke a joint or take a drink or watch the football game or go shopping or talk to my friends or turn on the internet or any of the numerous things we do to distract ourselves. You know, instead of turning to distraction, we say, okay, you know, this is going on. Now this is, you know, this is like a mystery. You know, this is our own mystery stories, and we're Sherlock Holmes, and we have to do some research about this mystery mood in our mind, and you know, what triggered it and what kind of thoughts are accompanying it, and am I seeing things accurately? You know, these thoughts that are accompanying my mood, am I seeing things accurately, or am I going and making up completely ridiculous, exaggerated stories about something, exaggerating somebody's good qualities, exaggerating their bad qualities, exaggerating the harm and damage of something, exaggerating its benefit, and thus getting myself all, you know, messed up. Yeah. So instead of that, just stopping and, you know, really, okay, this is Sunday morning mood mystery time. And I'm, you know, Sherlock Holmes. I'm the Buddha, aka Sherlock Holmes, delving into what's going on inside of myself and then wanting to find a good resolution to it. Yeah. And so, like I said, that way our moods, instead of something to avoid that we don't like, become something interesting. Yeah. And that's why I said if we're really willing to engage and really willing to practice, we never again will face boredom. Yeah. Because there's always something going on in our minds. Mm-hmm. Okay. So maybe think about this and discuss it some and make some examples. You know, pick some moods you were in recently. Maybe today. And, you know, and talk about it and how you would apply this.